All right, thank you so much for Party Slice. That was a lot of fun.
That was awesome.
So up next, we have Reservoir Frogs. And as my others come up and rearrange our chairs for a moment, what we're going to do is we're going to take interwoven monologues and tell a tale that is based on high ambition and low morals of 3 different characters. But first, we listened to Chad's story and we gleaned some very specific information from it. And first would be an item. Adam, what was your favorite item in that story?
Obviously an accordion.
An accordion? Okay, great. And then it was a location. What was that location?
Renaissance Festival?
Renaissance Fest, right? Yeah, I see where this is going. And finally, it's a relationship between 2 people, or how 2 people might know one another.
Bouncers.
Bouncers. We have Bouncers, Renaissance Festival, and accordion. Thank you. We're the Reservoir Frogs.
Jake Rosenthal. You know, most people think Renaissance Festival people are easygoing. Those people are wrong. Renaissance Festival people are fucking bloodthirsty. They are 1 inch, 1 bad turkey leg away from starting a fucking riot. I have dragged so many Karens out to so many minivans. This job doesn't pay medical. And my back. It can't take it anymore.
I'm Daryl Jensen. Yeah, I work with Jake. We like to take everybody outside and boot them once or twice. But I've got bigger dreams. Tired of the violence and the glorification of an age past that we no longer enjoy. So I feel like my life would be much, much better if I could just find that music in my soul and maybe do some dancing. That's what I really want to do.
Sarah Gustafson, and I am in my 10th year of working on my doctoral thesis about the importance of lute music versus monk choral singing in the development of the Reformation. And every year, someone wants to drag me to the Renaissance Festival. Oh, Sarah, you'll love it. It's just like your studies. No, it isn't. No. What country is this even supposed to be? There's like pirates and fairies and mermaids and belly dancers. What world is this? And they don't let you barter for anything. It makes me so angry, and every year I end up getting kicked out because I hassled the performers too much about remembering dates, and also that is an improper use of the tritone.
Jake Rosenthal, bouncer at the Renaissance Festival, and those medical bills are piling up.
Daryl Jensen, bouncer at the Renaissance Festival and aspiring dancer.
Sarah Gustafson, doctoral candidate, and I believe in historical accuracy.
People ask me, how'd you get into the Renaissance Festival biz? Said, fell into it like everything else. I was bouncing at a local gay bar, and surprising amount of Renaissance Festival there, folk there. They just come in, flush with cash, every fall. Broke every spring, of course, but flush with cash every fall. I don't know how to turn down that kind of money.
Oh, I met Jake at the local gay bar where we was bouncing together, and he told me that we should get together and do some Renaissance Festival and we could bounce there. And I was like, hey, you know, I guess it's a paycheck, whatever, you know, but I just don't like.
I've known Daryl for years. We go way back to the saloon. Yeah, originally, he was one of the acts. I don't know how to put this. He wasn't very good. There's a reason he's bouncing.
I wasn't very good. I mean, there's a reason that I was bouncing, but I just don't understand, you know, which way to move the hips, and it's interesting that my dream is to be a dancer. I'm just not quite sure how I'm going to pull this off, but
I was right at this very interesting point in my thesis, talking about how lute players, they weren't supposed to wiggle their hips because it was lewd. But because of all the ataxia caused by the various diseases at the time, they would do sort of a polyphonic rhythm thing between their lute and their hips. And to us it would look ridiculous, but back then...
The thing you need to know about the Renaissance Festival is there's lots of subspecies of Renaissance Festival characters. You have your pedestrians. They show up in street clothes. You got your Rennies. They work here. You got your pirates. You got your Johnny Depp pirates. And you got your bad Johnny Depp pirates. Then you have your Harry Potter characters. The assholes who are dressed like Star Trek, and way down on the social ladder, you got the musicians. They're the worst.
I heard Jake giving the musicians a problem, and I said, Jake, you can't give them problems because they may look like they're on the lowest rung of the ladder, but they make this place go. If you didn't have the musicians, then you wouldn't have dancing. If you didn't have the musicians, you wouldn't have singing. If you didn't have the musicians, I mean, I dare say, you would not have a Renaissance Festival.
If you didn't have the musicians, you wouldn't have half of the raging alcohol incidents I have to deal with. Do you know how hard it is to throw a double bass out of the gates of that festival? It goes uphill. And they're real sensitive. Oh, Dad dropped my keyboard. Don't vomit on the other patrons. I don't know why they drink so much. I mean, musicians, right?
I'm pretty sure they drink so much because they have to get themselves in that state of mind to play. But while they're playing, they're not paying attention. And when they call for a drink, people bring them beer, and they're drinking that, and then they bring them a rum and coke or whatever served as a rum and coke in Renaissance Festival times. You know, maybe mead or something. And
So, my well-meaning cousin said, I bought us tickets to the Renaissance Festival. I'd wanted to go for ages, and you're the only one I could think to go with. And I'm looking at the menu, and there's rum on the menu. Are you fucking kidding me? Rum. That is not a Renaissance drink. There wasn't even sugar cane. Did you put zero research into it? And Coke? Coke during the Renaissance. What are you doing?
Sarah Gunderson? No, I'm not sure if I know. Oh, no, I recognize her. Oh my god. I have to throw her out every fucking year. I recognize.
So, Jake forgot one person on the list. It's the historians that they come to the Renaissance Festival just to tell people they're wrong. But yeah, so this Mrs. Gunderson, she was a nice enough lady until she started screaming at the man playing an accordion, because
Historians. I mean, the one rule of the Renaissance Festival. And there should be more. Don't get me wrong. There should be so many more. But it's don't shit on other people's fun. And for historians, that is their fun. Just shitting on other people's fun.
Listen, I have devoted my life to learning how it was different back then. And those people think they can just willy-nilly call everything the Renaissance. And I will not stand for that. I will not. They're wearing polyester. Polyester, I tell you.
so, well, yeah, I remember the argument that she was having with the lutist, and he was actually, looking pretty good, something that I can't do. And she was explaining,
That is not a lute. Sure. That is a broken sitar. Which technically, historically accurate, but also because it goes in a different mode than the lute. Thenceforth, nothing you are playing can be lute music.
and she was yelling to him, don't move your hips. And it's like, I've never heard somebody that might be attracted to somebody dancing to not move their hips. So I was a little confused, but I listened.
You see, the hat he is wearing denotes that he has a degenerative bone disorder. And if you're gonna wear the hat, then play the part or take the hat off. But he didn't want to take off his hat because he looked handsome in it, and he's bald, and he won't get girls. You're playing a fake lute at the Renaissance Festival, sure.
The worst, the absolute worst, was about 3 years ago when she let loose on somebody for playing the tambourine. The tambourine?
No. See, tambourine was not the problem. Syncopated tambourine in a rendition of a Baroque classic with Lady Gaga lyrics.
So I decided that Mrs. Gunderson knew her stuff, and she was pretty good when she was trying to demonstrate what to do the right way. So I contacted her after I kicked her out of the Ren Fest. Yes, I did. I wanted to learn how to do the dance that she knew how to do. because it didn't require any movement from the waist down.
Oh, yes, it's very, very intricate. See, it's just, you step and they step the other way, and you all work together. It takes at least 20 people. But if you have enough friends or undergrads who want extra credit, it's very good.
I do not have 20 friends, but what I do have is an intimidating posture.
Yes, and I had 17 undergrads. So with 18 people, we made it work when we put some recycling bins on either end of the plane. And I did threaten to kick someone out of the program when they got a little bit too hippie with it.
She threatened to kick me out of the program. Apparently, I was being too hippie.
But I couldn't do that since he's not a student. Nor does he have any desire to be. Apparently, there are people who don't want to sit in a dusty basement of a museum trying to figure out if stuff is really that old.
If you don't want workplace drama, Jake, why do you work at a Renfest, Jake? I came in today, long before the canon. And Daryl was there, just deep in his mug. Daryl, we are not allowed to drink on the job. Publicly.
So, I was talking to Daryl, and apparently people who work there drink soda all day. And I'm like, this is the one place you could be historically accurate. They were always drinking beer.
He wouldn't tell me what was wrong, but I could see that old look in his eye. Like when we were back at the saloon. He was always hungry for the dance and hungry for the music.
I did finally confide in Jake what the problem was. And see, I don't think that I'm going to succeed at being a dancer, and it's literally breaking my heart. I can't.
Well, he's never going to succeed at being a dancer. Not with those hips. Not with that spine deformity. Not with my back injury, even. There's no way. It's just madness to think. And then he tells me that he let her back in. We already threw her out once this year.
It's just, I promised Daryl I wouldn't get him in trouble. But it's just from the minute you walk in, there's people with turkey legs. Turkey legs! They are North American, for fuck's sake!
I got in trouble.
Sometimes I fuck with the patrons at Fest and tell them they're not turkey legs, they're ostrich. It's really not that hard to believe, because if you ever tasted it, you'd swear it was somewhere between ostrich and maybe emu. If you could ever bite through it. Sometimes I get my mind taken away by the different foods that's out there. I forget that I'm even in a thing called Renaissance Festival and doing 5 different shows a day, and oh my god, where are we supposed to be in a half an hour? Do I still have all my band members left? Oh my god, what time are we supposed to be tomorrow? Are we doing a rehearsal again? I forgot. Oh my god, what can I stay at your place because I can't reach far away? But I forget all that with the food. There's this amazing Chinese restaurant out there, Asian food restaurant out there. It's amazing stuff. If you ever go out there, you must try it. It takes your mind off of the fact that you're at a Renaissance festival. It blows the mind. There's some amazing bacon. I've eaten this bacon. I make really good bacon at home for breakfast. This bacon will blow, knock your socks off. It's really damn good. And wait a minute, oh yeah, I'm at a Renaissance festival? I don't know why I'm singing about it, but it doesn't matter. The food really makes the place. I'm so glad they figured out the parking. Holy fuck, was that a mess?
I figured I would give this dancing thing one more try. I was sitting down, eating some of the Asian food there at the Renaissance Festival. Miss Gunderson yelling at me that it ain't real. But
See, if they had Asian food, it would have come across the Silk Road, and you had to worry about bandits. So clearly, it would be rock solid, covered in salt. Clearly.
so I decided I was listening to the nearby musicians as I was dancing in my chair, and there were some patrons there that were like looking at me and clapping and thinking I was giving them a performance. I was like, am I a chair dancer?
There's a code. Being a bouncer. Not a strong one, but it's a code that we live by. And that is, you don't upstage the performers.
I do not think that I can abide by the bouncer code anymore.
He told me, Jake, I don't think I can abide by the bouncer code anymore. And I grabbed him by that pleather vest.
They were talking about how they had to kick people out of Renaissance Festival. And they could even get physical with them. Oh, that sounds delightful.
Yeah, Miss Gunderson asked me to, as my last bouncer act, to like literally grab her by the nape of the neck and the seat of her pants and toss her out. I mean, it was super exciting. I threw out my back again, but it was super exciting.
Out of nowhere, Daryl grabs Sarah Gunderson, the Sarah Gunderson, the thorn in my side and my sciatic nerve, and flings her like a caber, like a Scottish Games caber, just right over the wall. She spiraled through the air.
I guess that wasn't exactly what I meant.
The crunch on the far side of the wall was deafening.
I landed on some watermelon rinds. Watermelon. That is not historically accurate.
Everyone had the same reaction. You would have the same reaction to that sight and that sickening thud.
They were clapping. Their reaction was that I had become a star. I was super excited. I mean, there I was, chair dancing, picking up ladies and throwing them over the wall and writhing on the ground in pain.
The applause was wild. No performer in the history of the Renaissance Festival set that place on fire like Daryl did when he flung that nosy, bossy grad student over that wall. It was madness. It was chaos. You haven't seen anything like it unless you've been to a Vikings game.
I loved it. I was literally tearing up. It reminded me of when Tommy Kramer used to play running circles around all the defensive linemen, and then they would try to sack him, but he'd throw for a touchdown, and then the Vikings almost won the Super Bowl. But
It was, I suppose, a magical moment, but it got out of hand. It got out of hand real quick. All those nerds hopped up on mead. All those cosplayers in the wrong era just drunk on their Scotch eggs. All those little kids absolutely high on sparkly fairy dust. Started a riot. It wasn't gentle. They went medieval on their asses.
They really did go medieval. There was a horse collar. A plague broke out. Not the plague, but a plague. Norovirus across the entire Renaissance Festival. There were bells ringing.
Why didn't I try and stop it? Well, of course, I tried to stop it. I had 3 Karens in headlocks. Can you put 3 people in a headlock at the same time? I don't think so. I've trained for years for this, but I was not prepared for that.
no, I did not partake of the bouncing while the riot was happening. I was sitting in my chair because my back hurt, and I was entertaining in the chair the people that...
Then, as if God on high was listening and said, "Let there be no more Renaissance Festival," a mighty dust storm kicked up on the grounds of the Renaissance.
It's called Sunday afternoon in August when it hasn't rained. And yeah, it's dusty. It came in and all that extra tramping around, it had stirred up a choking cloud.
I could not stop sneezing. Literally, I think that I started my first sneeze, and you know how some people go sneeze, 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 and people don't bless them until the 3rd sneeze because they don't want to make sure.
And then they panicked because no one had done the research on the Renaissance to know that everything was shit back then, so they were surprised. And there was a stampede.
There was a stampede. Stampede at the Renaissance Festival. I know, crazy, right? It's almost like standing in line for cheese curds. But no, this was for real.
I did. I had the front row seat to the stampede. I watched Captain Picard literally run over by a mermaid. It was super exciting, and fortunately, since I was no longer bouncing, I didn't have to do anything about it. And because I was stuck in a chair, I didn't have to get up and run.
3 Hufflepuffs were putting a beat down on a Captain Jack Sparrow. I wanted to stop them, but I wanted to keep watching.
And as I lay on the ground trying to get my breath back and assessing whether the watermelon had broken any ribs, I hear this thunder and a sea of false nerds spread towards the parking lot. And I look behind me, the Renaissance fair was flattened.
Epilogue.
The riot didn't do wonders for Jake's back. He threw a lot of people out that day, but the person he threw out the most was his 3rd, 4th, and 5th vertebra. He'll never bounce again.
I got run over. Apparently, when they flattened the Renaissance Festival, the chair I was sitting in was under the roof of the place where they were serving Asian food, and I got flattened, and I was sneezing, and I mean, I think I burst a vessel in my brain or something, because now I can't move, I can't dance, I just lay there all day thinking about what could have been.
I think the end of the Renaissance Festival has made me too complacent. Because I just turned in my thesis for the 17th time, and apparently I have too many citations, and I shouldn't have a longer list of citations than what my thesis is. Next year, I guess.
Thank you, we are the Reservoir Frogs. Once again, let's give a hand to Chad for the beautiful music.
Thank you.
And Chad,
Yes.
you are actually still in a group at the Renaissance
Yes,
Festival.
I'm in a band called The Morning Wood. That's Mourning.
Oh, thank
We're
God.
sad. It's a dick joke, but I love it. We're the house band for the Feast of Fantasy. So come out. We're also doing a few different gridded spots. We do stuff around town. I'm also the musical director at Stevie Ray's Comedy Cabaret, the Cheneston Dinner Theater, and I do stuff for a bunch of different theaters around town. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Chad. That is the end of the show for the evening. Thank you all so much for coming out and seeing live theater, and we really appreciate having such a reactive audience. And that's it. So enjoy the rest of your evening and your weekend.